hiding from the kids to film. It's the 1st of November. Realistically, writing will not be stellar today. Kids' parties, various things, but when they're in bed, I'm gonna see what I can do. If I'm exhausted, it's probably not gonna be a lot, but you know, we'll get some words on the page. It's the 1st. I'm determined not to write 0 on day 1, but current word count is, yeah, big fat 0. So yeah, it turns out my little one is afraid of fireworks. So mommy carried you all the way home. We're gonna snuggle, go to beddy byes, and then who knows, maybe I'll get some writing done. Just need to take my own advice really about showing up imperfectly. My littlest was up at 5:30 this morning. Husband is napping. I'm exhausted. And I only got 300 or something words done yesterday, but like, you know, it's 300 and something more than 0. And I'm gonna try and get something done now. I think I need to recap where I've got to in the novel, so spend some time reading a little bit more what I've previously done. I'd also like to try out vocal training, which I've seen like Lynn D. Jung talk about quite a lot, where you like read something in the voice that you're sort of trying to like capture, not about imitating, but kind of, you know, practicing using that muscle. But I don't know what I would read for that at the moment. So yeah, you can see showing up imperfectly. Yesterday's hair has not come out and it's a giant dreadlock. I've got kids' mess all around me, but we're showing up one day at a time. At this point, we decided to step out and just have a family day and try to wake ourselves up, have some fun, and it was so lovely to get outside. The UK in autumn or fall is absolutely beautiful. London is an amazing place to be. I think a lot of people assume it's just the city, but there's some gorgeous, gorgeous parks and wildlife, and it was just really nice to be out and kind of have a chance to enjoy time with my family, but chew over where I'm at in the novel, what I want the characters to be doing next, where we're going to be going. And, you know, Greenwich is awesome. Like, it's so cool. Got home feeling inspired to write a bit more, which was great. We are now on the 3rd of November, and honestly, I couldn't tell you where this morning's gone. I dropped my daughter at school this morning. Half term is now over. We've had 2 lovely weeks together, a bit frazzled. I've tried to cram everything I couldn't do across that time into today. And now I actually have to sit down to write, and I'm feeling a little bit creatively drained, but you know, we show up anyway. We'll see what we've got. Our internet is inexplicably being a nightmare, which is not great for YouTube, but it's probably actually good for writing. So I will sit down and get some stuff done. You'll have seen probably from the previous clips, Nano obviously started while, you know, we weren't back to school yet. It was a weekend and we had a very busy weekend. So my word count is not looking super healthy. I will put on the screen the exact numbers of words because, as I mentioned, I'm not starting a fresh new project. I am continuing a manuscript that I'm working on already, and the plan is to add 50k words. Now, when I looked at it, literally as I sat down on the 1st to get ready for Nano, it turns out I've done more than I thought. And so I might just finish the manuscript if I get the 50k words done this month, which is actually a wild, life-changing thought. So yeah, you'll have to excuse the state of me because I feel very frazzled, but I'm quite excited about this. So there's a bit of a like funny thing because I might share with you guys like an exciting milestone of hitting 50k words in my manuscript. What? But that's not 50k words for Nano. I think on my first day of Nano, I managed something like 300, and that was because everything got away from me. I mean, you'll have seen this already, I think, won't you? But basically my words were me lying next to my daughter in bed and tapping into notes on my phone. So, you know, not the best writing. And I hadn't had time to like go back and read through where I'd got to and re-immerse myself and like feel back in the zone. So it was just like off the cuff. Something is better than nothing. I could net this at 0 and just go to bed tired, or I could just get something down. And you know what, when I reread those 300 words back, they weren't so horrendous. I've struggled to kind of jump straight back into the project after so long out. I think I've mentioned before that I was working on it. No, I haven't told you this. So I started this novel, I can't even tell you, the idea came to me when I was actually reading a book on craft that I borrowed from the library. And I just had this idea, developed the characters, but it's been a bit of an on and off thing. And I've had little spurts of doing daily mini sprints, basically in bed next to my kids on my phone, actually, in notes. And then when I found out I was pregnant, after I ran the London Marathon, it was a bit of a surprise that I'd got pregnant so quickly, and I tested negative before the marathon, so I thought I was safe to run, for one thing. But I thought I'd have a lot more running and pursuing those goals time. And so I was so excited about the baby, and I thought what I would do is focus on getting my novel done in that 9 months to kind of shift away from the running. But then I had the miscarriage, stopped writing. And so I kind of didn't know where I'd left it. We're now getting close to 50K. But yeah, these first 2 days, the writing has been like 900 words max or something. It's not a perfect start. Have I almost crashed out on the first couple of days of Nano? Maybe. But it's also been really fun to come back to it, not being as stuck in, although it's been hard to get the words down. A bit of distance, and also the stuff that's happened to me in the interim has made me kind of feel a bit less precious about it. Like, you know, so what I write is bad. What's going to happen? Nothing major, right? Like, yes, the novel matters to me, but it's given me a bit of perspective and a bit of distance. Like, if I don't hit my word count, it's annoying, sure, but I have plenty of time to attempt to make it up. I think it's given me a healthier perspective, we shall see. And I'm really enjoying getting stuck into a part that I thought I wouldn't be able to do. My characters are currently in Venice, and that is quite fun to like research, although I don't have a ton of time to research. I need to get words down, so I'm gonna have to fill in some gaps later, but I'm enjoying that. The other question I'm kind of stuck on at the moment is, do I include spice? To spice or not to spice? In like the thriller genre, it's possible to. It isn't always done. Like, there's a romance subplot, and I'm working on how much do I keep that peripheral and kind of inferred as well. How subtle is it, or how influential do I make that? Like, it's not going to be full on Aragorn and Arwen shoved off in an appendix, but how explicit do we get with it? You know, the action in the novel is the center, but as I've said before, I'm very character driven and I'm interested in these relationships, and I've never written a spicy, I don't know what words I'm allowed to say on YouTube or not, so we're just gonna stick with spicy. I've never written anything like that before. It would be funny to write a scene, even if I don't end up including it. I'm just reluctant to maybe use words up on that if I'm not going to put it in, because then it feels like a waste, but it could be a fun exercise. It could also be a fun video filming my husband reacting to reading it, because I think he'll be like, oh my God. Did anyone else read Louise Bagshaw when they were like teenagers? I discovered her book Career Girls when I was 18, and that book is blue. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't read. I'm really behind, by the way. I'm so ACOTAR. Everybody loves all of this like romantasy, like fairy. I was going to say something then, I didn't say it. I've heard it referred to as a court of horns and boners instead of a court of thorns and roses. So I will read them at some point. It's just with the kids and blah. I'm really having to prioritize my time. I'm rambling. That is today's Nano update. I'm going to try and write a bit more of this like Venice scene and progress things and see where we get to. I don't think I'm going to catch up to where my words should be today, but if I can get like another 1,000 down on the page, I will be really happy. God, the afternoons and evenings really are drawing in, aren't they? Like, it's so chilly and like getting dark so soon. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to wrap this vlog here. I know we've only actually covered days 1 to 3 of Nano, but I think it's nice that, like, if you're off to a slow start too, I just want you to know you're not alone. And actually, even if we're only taking small steps and not posting like incredible stellar word counts, we are still progressing. There's plenty of November left for us to pick up the pace, but even if not, you know, progress is progress, and we're inching closer to finishing our novels, sometimes showing up and, you know, doing our thing. It doesn't look glamorous, and it's not these like big headlines, woman spends 50,000 hours writing in one block. You know, we have lives, we have jobs, we have responsibilities. I'm raising 2 young crazy kids, and it takes a lot out of you. And so the fact that we're making any space for creativity, I think, is really cool. And I'd like to kind of normalize not everything having to be huge and impressive all the time. She says, having just made a video about an ultra marathon, which is considered quite extra, but I'd also like to point out there were circumstances that I was, you know, commemorating something that was a big deal to me and processing a lot with that. So anyway, keep doing what you're doing. Leave me a cozy emoji. Let's see, leave me a hot drink emoji if you made it to here, and then I'm gonna go and get the hottest ever cup of tea right now, and I'm gonna have to go get the girls very soon. But thank you so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you want to support or just join me along on this journey to finishing my first ever novel. And yeah, I love hearing from you, so please do let me know what it is that you're working on, your tips, any struggles, any motivation. Like, I think the AuthorTube community is amazing, and actually having this accountability is the only reason I'm writing. If I wasn't doing this, I would have just gone to bed the other night. I wouldn't have got my words in. So thank you for keeping me on the straight and narrow. Next time we're going to be, I'm going to be hitting a fun milestone, and I'm also going to be trying out some authors' writing routines. So see you there.